Paul, it's the first time we've had a chance to speak to you since the small matter of an Edinburgh derby win at Tynecastle. How do you look back on it now the dust settled?
Yeah, fantastic win. You get to see this and sense what it means to everyone after the game, really. And I think I said straight afterwards to the press that the one thing I was looking forward to was celebrating after the game and seeing the fans and the players with the fans. We've had a few good nights where you can sort of stand back as a manager and feel happy that the fans are appreciating the effort of the players and vice versa. And that was another one. That was a real good occasion. You can see what it means to everyone, and that's something that'll stick with me.
Did you give yourself a moment to soak that in after the game? Obviously, the players went over to the stand. Did you hang back?
Yeah, it's important. I remember once as a player, first time we got promoted as a player in a player final. It flew by. I had a great time, but I couldn't remember any of it. Second time it happened, I had the kit man with a video camera, everything, and you need to make sure you take everything in. Likewise, first time as a manager winning a trophy at Wembley flew by, and I said I'm never doing all that after the game. You know, it's for me. I'm going to enjoy it with the players. And so the second time we were there and went up, made sure that I enjoyed everything about it. The memories, I ignored the interviews, I ignored everything. Made sure I was with the players. Went up to the director's box with my boots on, my kit on, a couple of bottles of beer in my hand, see my family, because that's what you do it for. So Saturday was no different. I knew if we won, make sure the players go to the fans, just stand back and watch them all celebrating.
Type of guy that Darryl Horgan is, he will refuse to take credit for anything. So was it nice for someone like him to get his moment like that?
Yeah, and it shows how football is, because all the questions were sort of like that, aimed towards me after the game. Must be nice for Darryl to do this. Darryl's been performing well. He really works his socks off for the team, and that's appreciated by everyone, the players and the staff. So like you said, for him to get the goals and the I don't know how would you put it, the attention, it's nice. It's good for him. It gets everyone talking about him. But he's not played any different in all the games. As
you say, I think the stats back it up in terms of assists and goals, but he's not going to be the first to put himself in the spotlight.
No, he's not. It's an endearing quality, but you certainly want drive in people, you want determination in people. So we'd love to create a bit more of that in him, without a doubt. But we're not getting working any harder than he does, because he's a hard worker. He's selfless in his role for the team. So that's, as you said, that's the one nice thing really, that it gets everyone talking about him, where we appreciate what he does every day anyway.
You happy with the way they managed the game and the occasion? Because they obviously had a setback, but they seem to take a breath and go again. Yeah,
listen, you could play that game again, and being really realistic and standing back and watching it, either team could have won that game. You know, the pleasing thing for us is they scored first when they were on top. We came straight back, and once we went in front, I felt we were always going to be the better team, because we defended fantastically well, and we were a threat then when they were leaving space. We were a threat on the counter, we were a threat going the other way, and could have got more goals. So balance of the game could have gone either way, without a doubt, but we were big and strong at key times, and we were clinical at key times.
If you're a supporter, it probably feels like an age since the game, because there's been this break, but nothing ever really stops at HTC. What's been taking up your time since?
Preparing for the next game, that's it. So this week's been, rather than specifically focusing on Celtic, a lot more about us and areas of the game that's important to us, how we want to improve, make sure we're still pushing the players and everyone's getting what they need individually. And then that focus next week will shift a little bit more towards a setup for Celtic.
There's been maybe subtle tweaks behind the scenes so far that supporters won't get to see in terms of around the HTC or within the team, the way they're playing. I suppose it's all part of a process moving towards next season.
Yeah, things obviously change in terms of how we want to work here, and they'll continue to change towards next season. In terms of on the pitch, the work's been done on the training ground, but there's been little alterations in every game really. In every game, there was a real key one in the derby, which people probably didn't notice. Just getting Stevie Mann to play a little bit deeper when we had the ball, and it made all the difference in the game really for us. So all that stuff's always going off, yeah, without a doubt. But the work we do here makes sure that the players then can understand it when they get on the pitch.
And obviously the clock is ticking. Supporters always look ahead to the transfer window, but I mean that's something that you addressed on, I think, day one in the building, putting steps in place towards that.
Yeah, that never stops, regardless what time of the season is. There's people working away whose sole focus is that. We're looking at everyone within the squad and looking where we want to improve the team. We'll have players in the building who stay and fill those gaps without a doubt, but we'll also be looking to try and fill them from elsewhere if we can get better options, and that's the same all season, before every window, and that's how it should be. So that work's been ongoing. As you said, people probably talk about it a little bit more now with the time of year, but everyone at this club, in terms of the playing staff, have been fighting and working hard for the team, and that's not gone unnoticed. You know, they might fill all the spaces, and we may only be bringing one or two in from outside. We'll have to wait and see.
For a club of our size, one of the factors, one of the things that helps you plan for next season is obviously the purchase of season tickets. It's insulting people's intelligence to say otherwise. How important a building block is that for you and your team?
Yeah, well, there's the obvious ones which impacts on budget and planning. So from a business point of view, the more season ticket sales we get in early doors, the easier it is to plan and budget and prepare for next season. But there's a real emotional one as well, which is probably more important for me when we're signing players. It makes a huge, so I'll speak about the fan base a hell of a lot with new signings or anyone coming to look round Easter Road, HTC, the city. The fans have really impressed me, and I'll be drilling that home. So the more season tickets are already sold when you speak to players, you can speak about the support and what it means to people in the town, because that, as a footballer, that's an attraction. You want to come and play for a big club, you want to come and play for a team where the fans are fully behind you, and I want to speak about that. So for me, that's a real emotional pull that you can have for players. We know, we're speaking like we want it to, and we know everyone's in different financial situation. The time of year could be a holiday, it could be bills you're paying for, but my guess is that most fans who bought season tickets, it's in the blood, and we'll have people who automatically renew, we'll have people who, you know, will sacrifice other things in their life to renew and be season ticket holders at Hibs, and it's appreciated by everyone, you know. So whilst we don't want people to go and be spending money they've not got, we appreciate every little that everyone does give for the club, whether the season ticket holders, whether the supporters, whether they're buying the club shop, whether they support charities and foundations that we run. We honestly, it's appreciated by everyone at the club.
For all the progress there's been so far, you've not had that much time on the training ground. Someone like you must be looking forward to pre-season, where you have that time on the grass for a consistent period.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at how pre-season sets up in Scotland, and it'll be totally different. So we'll literally be back and then straight into the games. So that'll be something new, and it's something we're already planning now, because it'll be totally different to having, say, a 6-week block of work till your first league game and just friendlies leading up to that. We'll be into competitive games within a matter of days, and that'll be totally different. So it'll be a case of getting competitive for those games, but somehow we want to keep building and improving so that the work we do before the first game of the season is really beneficial then come November, come March, you know, because we've given a real good base to players.